In his Jump Festa 2023 statement, Oda briefly talked about the future of One Piece for the upcoming calendar year, and per the man's own words, that person and that person are gonna be fighting. That's the type of story you can expect. If I were to give it a title, I'd call it a free-for-all battle royale. I hope no one dies.
What do you mean by that?
First of all, this is One Piece, and seldom do characters actually die on screen. And Oda teasing this in a Jump Festa statement is clearly this guy trolling. So let's not even pay that part of the statement any mind. However, this massive battle royale that Oda is hinting at involving this person and that person seems to be already underway, and we are only mere days into 2023. At the end of One Piece chapter 1071, we seen that man, my guy, the hero of the Marines, Monkey D. Garp, move into action. But not only is he moving, he alongside Helmeppo and company are making a beeline for Hachinosu Island, that's Blackbeard's territory by the way, in order to rescue Captain Kobe. We are starting the great year of 2023 with Monkey D. Garp versus Blackbeard. So let's just take some time today to really break this down and dissect this, because these are two very big names in Garp and Blackbeard. Those two meeting is huge for One Piece. Let's start with Garp, because the fact that Garp is even going on the move to confront Blackbeard in the first place is absolutely insane and ridiculous. Garp is a character who we've known for a very, very long time. Garp is a legend of the One Piece world alongside Son Goku, alongside Whitebeard, Roger, Rox, you name them. Garp is up there with the best of them. I can't say I ever expected Garp to do something like this. I figured that if we did see Garp in action, it wouldn't be until the final war. But no, this guy is going to rescue Captain Kobe, which in and of itself is kind of weird. So Garp is a character in whom we've mostly seen on the sidelines chilling for most of his One Piece tenure. Even during the War of the Best and Marineford, Garp made no real effort to save Ace from execution. Although that's entirely on Ace. Ace chose the life of a pirate. So as the hero of the Marines, it will be an incredibly bad look for Garp to save his grandson when his grandson is ultimately a criminal, right? I understand that. And in the case of Captain Kobe, this is one of Garp's own men. This is a person who Garp himself directly trained and groomed for this role in the Marines. That much I understand. What's wild to me is this is what moves Garp. This is what makes Garp get off his ass after 20 plus years in the story. Kobe being captured, Garp's like, hey, no, we're going to Hachinosu right now. We don't need any manpower. We don't need any fleets, none of that. Even though Blackbeard is a emperor of the sea at this point of time, Garp is going in here, as far as we know, with Helmeppo and the female character who's also a member of SWORD, whose name currently escapes me. Here's the really interesting part about all of this. Helmeppo is a member of SWORD. The woman character that's accompanying him is also a confirmed member of SWORD. It's been speculated to high heaven and back that Aokiji, that Kuzan, infiltrated the Blackbeard pirates as a member of SWORD. Kobe, who is currently captured by the Blackbeard pirates, is a member of SWORD. I'm saying all of this to ask one question. Does this imply that Monkey D. Garp is also a member of SWORD? In my opinion, this is all way too coincidental for Garp not to have any affiliation or at least ties to the SWORD organization. And even though we know next to nothing about the SWORD organization, Garp being the head honcho of this rebellious subsection of the Marines is a logical conclusion to make here. Garp has always been the type to do things his own way, and as we know, he is not at all fond of certain workings within the world government, i.e. the world nobles. Garp doesn't strike me as a type to turn a blind eye to blatant corruption, especially when we consider how much he tried to sway his own blood from lives of piracy. Would serving an oppressive regime be a better alternative? Garp loves the Marines and the message of stopping criminals, but he outright rejects the notions of the celestial dragons. The fact that there are so many pieces, so many possibilities, so many questions, and so many unknowns really does add another level of intrigue to this Garp versus Blackbeard confrontation. But let's say Garp isn't at all a member of SWORD, which is also a very high chance here. Let's say Garp is doing this solely out of the kindness of his heart and for a young Marine and Captain Kobe. What does this mean for Monkey D. Garp's future? And what does this mean for Blackbeard's future? Because either way you slice it, these two characters are currently on a collision course, and whatever the outcome is, whatever happens on the island of Hachinosu is going to drastically affect the One Piece world going forward. To further elaborate on a point that I was going to make earlier, Garp going into an Emperor's lair single-handedly, by himself basically, is asinine no matter how high on the totem pole you are. Disregarding Garp's stature for a second, because we all know the legend of Monkey D. Garp. Garp is somebody who was stated to be a rival of Roger. These two fought relentlessly throughout the many years that they've known each other, okay? But this is still Blackbeard. This is Blackbeard we're talking about here. Blackbeard isn't any slouch. Blackbeard is incredibly fierce in his own right. So much so that even Silvers Rayleigh admitted that had Blackbeard and his crew actually been with the smoke, it would have ended well for him. So that really does make me question how well is Garp gonna fare against Blackbeard and his crew of morons. Although the chances of it are slim, screw that. I say the chances of it are closer to zero than anything, but there is an idea floating about that Teach will be the man to send Monkey D. Garp to an early grave. I don't see this happening in all honesty, and it isn't a knock on Blackbeard. I think he can very much put Garp into the dirt if he so wanted to. I just can't imagine Garp dying here before he sees Luffy again, before we get a God Valley flashback, and before Luffy is the Pirate King. I'm not arguing against Garp dying at all. We know how much of a boner mangaka tend to have for killing off beloved old men in these series. If Garp does die, it won't be here, and I feel pretty confident in saying that. The situation on Hachinosu can truly go any which way, but above all else, more than anything, I want to actually see what happens. I understand, okay, One Piece is a story where the world is always spinning. Characters continue to act and live even when they aren't on screen. So Oda can't show us every little thing that transpires, because if he did, this story would most certainly be well over 2,000 chapters. But when we have a looming conflict between men like Garp and Teach, how could you not show us that? Oda loves to off-screen. This right here better not be one of them, because if it is, me and Oda are gonna have a little talk. Garp versus Blackbeard is the perfect way to kick off the new year, and even more of a perfect way to set the tone for what's to come for the remainder of this final saga of One Piece. We are gonna see characters from all walks of life, characters who we love, characters who we hate, characters who we never ever thought would even interact, and they're gonna collide. This is the home stretch of One Piece. What we're about to see is going to go beyond our wildest imagination. When Oda said that this year in 2023 it was going to be a massive free-for-all, he wasn't lying about that. We are going to see some truly crazy things from One Piece in the year to come, and I cannot wait for that. 2023 is poised to be the greatest year for One Piece ever. And that is all for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, you already know what to do. We've been over this 1,000 times, okay? Smash that like button for me. And if you aren't subscribed, subscribe. Help me help you, because when you subscribe, you are guaranteed some of the best One Piece content on the market. I promise you. That being said, you guys be easy. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I will catch you on the flip side. Stay gold.